today's Daily Bees, suspended enterprises decrease in first 6 months. New products developed in the construction material business. And later on, Vietnam rice needs to diversify foreign markets. Hello, I'm Ming Chang, and this is Daily Bees brought to you by VTV International. Let's start with some updates on the stock market. Now, the southern bourse of the Vietnamese Stock Exchange closed in green after the first trading sessions of this week, while the northern bourse failed to do the same. At the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange, the benchmark VN index advanced 5.14 points to finish at 565.92 points. The VN30 also edged up 2.76 points to stop at 609.99 points. Over 62.5 million shares were traded on these boards at a total value of more than $50 million. Meanwhile, on the Hanoi Stock Exchange, the HNX index retreated 0.33 points to close at 75.98 points. More than $16 million was spent at the northern bourse to trade over 28.4 million shares. Unlisted companies also saw their stock prices go down, as the Upcom index slightly lost 0.15 points to close at 47.12 points. And after the stock market updates, let's move on to the list of the 5 biggest gainers and losers of the day. Now, with the credit growth showing a marked rise in the second quarter, the State Bank of Vietnam's target of 12 to 14% for the year seems likely to be realized. The SBV's Ho Chi Minh City office says as of May the 31st, outstanding medium and long-term credit in the city had increased by 3.16% this year. Economists believe that the recovery in credit growth was due to the fact that the measures adopted by the central bank to help companies battle their difficulties have begun to take effect. 2 of the most productive measures were to lower lending interest rates and bring banks and companies closer together. Now, the number of enterprises suspending their operation has dropped in the first half of this year, according to information from the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or VCCI. Among the 800 businesses that participated in the survey conducted by VCCI, only 4.2% of enterprises ceased operation in the first 5 months of this year, compared to 7.6% of the same period last year.
The average period for temporary closures have also shortened to 1.5 months, comparing 2.5 months during the same period last year. However, the problems that force businesses to suspend operation have not been solved yet. 50% of the respondents said that they had to suspend operations due to a lack of demand, high input costs, and difficulties in accessing loans. On the upside, business optimism reached the best level since 2011, according to the survey. A majority of domestic firms expressed confidence about the new markets, technology, global market demand, and access to credit.
In other news, Vietnam's unsold real estate inventory reached an estimated 83.5 trillion Vietnamese dong, or $3.9 billion by the end of the second quarter of this year, according to the Ministry of Construction. This estimated value shows a reduction of 35% compared with the previous quarter. Ho Chi Minh City saw the highest amount of unsold housing stock worth of 15.8 trillion Vietnamese dong, with more than 7,000 apartments. However, the ministry says the sales of apartments in District 7 and some other districts in the city have been positive in the first 6 months of this year, and this helped to reduce stocks. Hanoi took the second place on the list with 10.9 trillion Vietnamese dong, dropping 2.06 trillion Vietnamese dong from the end of 2013. Now, Vietnam's building and construction material industry is rolling out new products to meet rising demands, and higher standards in the domestic real estate market makes a recovery. New materials are also increasingly environmentally friendly following government encouragement.
This company is among the leading building construction material enterprises in the country, and they are adopting advanced production lines. This new direction has proved its effectiveness as the companies recorded an 80% increase in profits in 2013. The firm now focuses on producing extruded aluminum materials. The company also plans to expand its business with additional investment of $4 million, raising its capacity to 8,000 tons per year by 2016.
We plan to expand our business here in Vietnam because we see rising demand in the near future. We also plan to export products to Australia and Japan.
The VietBuild 2014 exhibition has seen increasingly modern construction materials manufactured by producers. Some firms have spent several years researching the needs of the Vietnamese market. The new products like noise-proof and waterproof roofing sheet are now favored among customers.
I believe in Vietnam's investment environment, and I see potential growth for the construction material market in the next 5 to 10 years. So my company is introducing new products to grasp this opportunity.
Support industries also make a contribution to building materials, and they are hoping for government support. The screw and nail products of this company are all made with the latest technologies. The company also has its plan for expansion and new products.
Several heavy industries are set to develop strongly in the coming time, so it's a great chance for the supporting industry as well.
Material costs make up about 70% of the cost of any construction, and it is among the key factors that affect the quality of the constructions. The construction material industry of Vietnam is still in need of governmental support to compete with imported products that have a wide range of prices and qualities.
And now it's time to check on the foreign exchange rate. Welcome back. Over the past few years, Vietnam has become one among leading rice exporters in the world. However, according to experts, Vietnamese rice export remain limited, especially as the sector depends on some specific markets. How to overcome this disadvantage remains a big question for both enterprises and relevant agencies. Let's find out more in the following report.
Although the rice market is still facing many difficulties, the firm's operation seems quite stable. According to the firm's owner, since the beginning of this year, his company has exported about thousands of tons of rice with price at around $400 per ton. And his key partners are Chinese companies.
Chinese food demand is huge. Some companies like us do export to China. Some Chinese buyers have ordered large amounts of rice from us.
Statistics from the Ministry of Agricultural and Rural Development show that within the first 5 months of this year, the country exported about 2.65 million tons of rice, 40% of which has been shipped to China. This is the second year in a row that China continues to be the largest buyer of Vietnamese rice. However, over-dependence on one market may prove risky to Vietnam rice exporters.
It's very risky when depending on some specific importers. If they don't want to import anymore, we won't be able to sell rice. Moreover, they know that we only have a few partners, so they can force us to cut prices.
Fighting diverse markets has proved difficult. However, there are still some enterprises who have successfully managed the target. A few years ago, this firm was forced to slash prices by foreign firms. But when the firm opened one more branch in Singapore, everything changed.
We've opened foreign branches to diversify markets. We now don't depend on any partners. In addition, we can increase the value of Vietnamese rice. Currently, we are planning to negotiate with a Singaporean supermarket.
In addition to the Gao Mai Company, Anzang Plant Protection Company has also expanded its market to Japan for the past few years. This has confirmed that Vietnamese firms can diversify their markets. The point is how to encourage local firms and force them to be more active. If this trend continues, Vietnamese rice will soon gain in value.
In other news, the month-on-month consumer price indices, or CPI, in the country's two biggest cities in June increased, according to the Statistics Department of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. The Hanoi Statistics Department reported that the capital CPI in June edged up by 0.08% over May and 1.16% against the same period last year. Ho Chi Minh City Statistics Department also reported an increase of 0.58% in the city's CPI for June against last month. The index had a year-on-year surge of 1.1%. Medicine and healthcare services saw the highest price increase of 8.69% on month among the 11 basket of goods, which contribute to the calculation of CPI data. And that's Be The News wraps up our Daily Beats today. Thank you very much for watching, and you can always rewatch our programs and get other updates at vtv4.vn. Goodbye from Hanoi.